Hey there. For this practice tip video, I thought that I would explain some ways that I found myself able to practice a little bit more efficiently. Let's face it, playing scales, playing patterns can easily become rather mundane and not as interesting as a component of your practice. So what I found myself doing is I had to make a game out of it. So I'm going to take a simple deck of cards because the math works out quite nicely with a deck of cards. If you make an ace, equivalent to the tonality of C, a 2 to an F, a 3 to a B flat, and so on. When you get to the jack, make that to a D as in dog. The queen can be G as in good, and then when you get to the king, make that maybe a chromatic scale or a chromatic passage. So for example, if I'm here with the cards and I flip over the first one, as you can see this one here is a 4 of hearts, so I'm going to take a look, and maybe red, I'm going to tongue my scale, and since it's 4 would be E flat, I'm going to do my E flat scale tongue. And then I would continue through. So here's a 4, but this time it's black, so I'm going to slur it. And the next one I would turn over, ace, a red ace. So I'm going to play my C scale, and I'm going to make sure that it's tongue. And so on. As you can see, playing this game and going through it, you spend about 6 to 8 seconds on a deck, on a card when you flip it over. Now, in going through the entire deck, if you do the math, you're going to find that 6 to 8 seconds per card, 52 cards in the deck, you're easily going to get through an entire deck in your practice within 8 to 10 minutes. In doing so, here's an extension of this game. So let's say, for example, that I do this one and I get it wrong. Well, I'm going to slide this one over a little further. And then let's say the next one, I get this one wrong, so I'm going to slide that one over. This next one, I get right. This next one, I get right. This next one, I get wrong, and so on. So for example, after you sift through the entire deck, you've got one pile here, which is what you have achieved well, and that you feel like you can play well already. But then, be honest with yourself and take a look at this side, and you may find some similarities. You may find that if you're doing this for articulation, you may find that, geez, all the red ones are the ones that I'm struggling with. Or hey, all the black ones are the ones that I'm struggling with. In this case, if I saw a pair of 10s on this side, I'm going to tell myself, hey, I need to work on my A scale. So, not only doing the deck of cards to help randomize your scales can be helpful, but then playing that game one step further where you have the two piles, the one where you've succeeded and the one where you need to work a little bit more, it kind of helps you tell the truth and makes you maybe notice patterns in your practice and in your technical development that maybe you would not have noticed unless you took the time to do the deck of cards. But like I said, making a game out of it with a deck of cards, 8 to 10 minutes right at the beginning of your practice session to assess how you're really doing with memorizing your scales or knowing your patterns. The other thing that you can do is you can take those suits and you can make them stand for anything. You could take the red suit and make that stand for major and the black suit stand for minor. Or maybe you could take each suit and make that be a different type of articulating pattern. Either way, I hope that this idea of making a game out of your practice can help you remain focused and efficient with your practice, and best of luck with your practicing. Take care.